All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, we are going to talk about the next Maras Balm adjustment. Now, for those of you guys that are trying to keep track at home, they came out with the set the way they said they were going to live. It came out unchanged. Immediately after the live patch, they said the next incremental 2 weeks later, they were going to come out with an adjustment, which was this last Tuesday. So this last Tuesday, they then reduced the heal by 50%. I've said in other videos that I didn't think that was enough. And Gina Bruno responded yesterday. And so this is what we're going to talk about in this video. But yeah, September 9th. Gina Bruno writes on the forums and she goes, "Hey everyone, wanted to thank you all for taking the time to provide so much feedback on this item set. There's been a lot of feedback, both during the most recent PTS cycle onwards since launch, and wanted to give you some insight into a few additional adjustments we're planning to make for Maras Balm now that we've had a chance to do some further investigation with this item set in a live environment. First, we're going to add a 1-second cooldown. As many of you discussed, in addition to having it trigger a larger heal when the cleanse occurs. So the burst heal will be a little bit larger than what it currently is after the 50% reduction. We don't know how much. We're also going to increase the healing a bit from where it currently is. The goal of the set is to offer a steady stream of healing for when your character is having many negative effects applied to them, so the cooldown will still benefit from frequent incoming and outgoing effects, but now with a more consistent and predictable limit to effective healing at any given moment. We're still working out when we can publish this adjustment in a future incremental versus an update 36, but we'll keep you posted." That last part, she goes on to clarify, and she says that it's going to come out in a future incremental. She says, "Just quickly update, it sounds like we'll likely be able to get this into an incremental patch, so you won't need to wait until update 36 launches," which is great news. It's great news that the set got adjusted before the next patch. It's been, a complaint of mine and other players, I think, maybe I'm the only one, that they wait too long for stuff that's broken to get fixed. And in this situation, they took their time. They took the feedback. It did take some time to get an adjustment, but an adjustment was made that I think is, until we see exactly what it is, it looks more reasonable in my opinion. My overall thoughts on this. Well, I did a post on the forums about a month ago now, a little less than a month ago, that's dated August 16th. So I go through the set, I go through the testing, and I go through the thoughts as to what it provides. And one of the paragraphs I write here is, "The set in its current form is extremely overtuned relative to any other sets in the game that provide similar sources of self-healing. I'm all for a new set that is competitive and strong, but just from these tests, a 1-second cooldown would make it the best healing set in the game by a decent margin that also doubles down as a burst heal every 15 seconds and purges all negative effects every 15 seconds. I'd say a 1-second global cooldown as well as a reduction in healing power from the 2100, the original heal, to 1800-ish or so would still make it viable and possibly overtuned. It would be closer in line though." So that was my thought a month ago. And yeah, a 1-second cooldown I think is perfect. The issue with this set, in my opinion, is that there is no cooldown. And the fact that you don't have a cooldown on it, you just continue to get scaled healing. Now, I have had a lot of people get annoyed on my channel and talk about these, get annoyed with me bringing up Maras Balm and how, I ruin this for PvPers. And first of all, I want to clear some things. My point of view is that no broken set has ever helped a smaller solo player. Like Plague Break, I suppose, but a few Plague Break dots was really more annoying outnumbered. Crimson, although Crimson provided more healing outnumbered than it did in a group, what happened is you upped the time to kill so much that patch with Crimson that groups had a hard time dying because it was just really easy to stay alive. And so when you look at Maras Balm, it's a souped up Crimson. If everybody's wearing Maras Balm, sure, a solo player will get a better use out of it. They will get more healing. But even in a 1v1 situation, this is the strongest survival set in the game. It is extremely powerful. It doesn't mean it's going to keep you alive regardless of what's going on. You still have to know what you're doing. You're not just going to be able to do whatever, but it is extremely overtuned. And so, first of all, The reason I brought it up on my channel is it's the PTS. I think most of you guys understand that, PTS stands for Public Test Server. This is the point of a public test server, to test these sets, to come out with to voice concerns of what's going on. And any time a patch has existed where one set dominates, yeah, sure, it's fun for a little bit until people catch on, and then it gets really boring really quickly. And so, because everybody's running the exact same thing, you can look at Malakath with procs, you can look at Oakensoul, you can look at Maras, you can look at Crimson, you can look at Alessian Werewolves. Doesn't matter. That's just the way that it goes. And so, in my opinion, nipping these things in the butt and just allowing people to build in different ways is more fun. I think it's more fun. I think it's better for PvP. I think it's better for the health of PvP in general. And especially during the PTS, when that's what we're supposed to be doing as players, is testing and voicing our concerns. That's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I've been playing this game for a long time. Like I said, never in the history of this game has it ever existed to where a set is all of a sudden going to help out solo small scale players. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, guys. This isn't going to be the first set, and it's been proven already. It's not. And so, yeah, some people like to be immortal, and I totally get it. You don't want to die in PvP. Dying in PvP is scary. A lot of people would rather run away, but I like to fight. I like to have the capabilities on all classes to kill people. I like the other people to have those same capabilities. You guys have been watching me streaming on Twitch. I've been running Maras Balm, and people will come up and ask for duels and stuff, and I'll just say, hey man, good fight. Like it's not fair. Like it's just not a fair fight because I'm running Maras. Like I'm at it at just such a huge advantage, even in a 1v1 situation. So yeah. My point is it's a good change. This is something they haven't done before, where they've made 2 adjustments incrementally and gone through and addressed the set, which I think is awesome. I think it's awesome that they took this feedback even after the patch goes live, because oftentimes in the past, they've gone dark a little bit and just wait for the next patch. Look at what happened with Oakensoul, for instance. So I think we should. I think it's a good thing. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's a good thing, and yeah, I think it should be acknowledged that they are changing in this regard. And I do think, although I think it was clear that Maras, was pretty clearly overtuned, it's fine by me if they needed more testing. It's fine by me, because that's the problem with the public test servers. It's tough to test these different sets in outnumbered environments. And who am I, to be honest? You know what I mean? I'm not a developer. I'm not a guy that knows what's best for the game. I have a couple good ideas every once in a while, but that's it. I'm not a developer. And so if you're a developer, yeah, you take people's opinions, and I would think you take their feedback, and you listen to it, and you conduct testing in the best environments you can, and then you make adjustments when you can, which is what they've done here. And so I think that's great. I really do. And so I think depending on what the heal is going to be, even with the 1 second cooldown, I think it could still be the best defensive set in the game. That's how powerful self-healing is. And so it's going through all these adjustments, and it very possibly still could. Like a purge of all negative effects, guys, every 15 seconds is so unbelievably powered for solo outnumbered. I know a bunch of people don't play solo or even small scale in PvP, but purging all negative effects every 15 seconds is so powerful. And people are going to say, well, why don't you run Weird Tree then? Well, the last few patches, the damage has been pretty high. Especially when you're solo, it's just better to have mitigation. But the fact that they're going to stack some healing with a purge and a burst heal is really, really tempting. And the 2 through 4 piece is also very strong for survivability. And yeah, depending on what the heal is going to be, I would say, we'll see what it is. I'll do a video when they come out with the change, and it won't be as long as this one. But in my opinion, if it's anywhere over 1,500, I think it's still going to be a good set. And so I think it'll still be worth selling for those of you guys that are selling it. If you're looking to get it, and you can get it for cheap, because people keep seeing it being quote unquote nerfed, and you can get it for cheap and it's around those healing amounts, I would consider going out to get it. And so, yeah, I feel like this is a win-win for a lot of people. You know, the people that wanted to run Maras got to run it for 2 to 4 weeks. It gets an adjustment before it gets stale. and yeah, and so that's the post, and those are my overall thoughts. Now, since we have some time, since we have some gameplay here, I figured I'd talk to you guys about my warden stuff. But yeah, I need to level my warden and everything, and I don't have my passives here. My sword and board passives are not fully leveled. My dual wield passives are not fully leveled. On this build, or what I'm running right here, I have Essence Thief front bar, Clever Alchemist back bar, I have Sea Serpent, and Balorg with 3 Swift. I've already talked about Sea Serpent, but yeah, I've been talking a little bit on my Discord to a few different people, and there have been comments, I'm sure you guys have heard this, where Flurry is more damage than like biting jabs and puncturing sweeps, which is kind of funny. And I had another guy in the Discord tell me that he was dueling on the PTS and he threw Flurry on his Nightblade, and he said it was better than Surprise Attack. He said it was functionally better. And I thought that was interesting. It kind of caught my attention, and I was like, dude, I'm going to try and make a build without using D-Swing. Not that I hate D-Swing or anything, but it gets countered really easily. The cast time can be blocked or dodged. Anybody that really knows what they're doing has a competency for defense in this game, really doesn't get wrecked by D-Swing at all. And so it's fun to move off of. And so in this clip, I'm using the new Flurry, and I got Spin to Win with the new heal stun, and overall it's functioning pretty good. I think in this fight I didn't have my potion passives yet, or maybe I did. I can't remember, but I had to level my alchemy up too, and so my sustain was really struggling in parts in this. So I will have to go back to the drawing board for this build. Maybe for no CP I throw Wretched on. I don't know. I think in CP I would actually probably be okay. I don't know. I don't know, but it's been a lot of fun. I've been running sword and board and dual wield, and being the Spin to Win Chad that everybody else does. I'm not a huge fan of Spin to Win. I know. This is me complaining about everything. That's not really. You have your own play styles, right? Like, I'd rather play more single target. It's not as much fun to me to do like a Spin to Win build, but I like different play styles, and so I know that for my Warden, I could throw on Sword and Board and 2H just like my Necromancer, and I could go into PvP and it would function very, very similarly to my Necromancer. Everything would feel more or less the same. I would have more healing. I'd have a lot less mitigation, but I'd have more healing, and the damage would be a lot easier to land. And so I could absolutely do that, but I just... I like different playstyles. So that's what we're doing here. And so we're using Flurry, and we're using our Burst Heal as a CC to try and land our Deep Fissures. And yeah, I don't have Dawnbreaker and I don't have Meteor. Those would both be better, but you have to use what you have to use. And so I have my Undaunted at 8 on this character. My Meteor I have to farm, and so I think I'm gonna go Polar. I had a few people ask, like as an example, Cap'n Crunch. He's a YouTuber and he plays a lot of Warden. He's like, hey man, you should be running Polar Wind, and I agree. I don't disagree at all. Polar Wind is definitely better than Arctic Blast. Especially as far as healing goes, but I wanted to try other things. Like, I already know people have made really strong setups with Polar, and I know that I can switch to Polar. Like, I already know that exists, and so oftentimes when I'm figuring out sets, I go, okay, well, what don't I know? What don't I know about the new changes? And I was like, I haven't seen a lot of people using Arctic. And so I wanted to try out Arctic Blast, and sometimes you just accept that you're going to get curb stomped. You know what I mean? Like, you're running something suboptimally because you want to see how it works, and that's how you learn. We're all different players, trying to find our own optimized like setups and play styles and everything, and sometimes it's just a learning phase, and that's what I'm at on Warden. Warden's my least played class. Magica Warden, Stamina Warden is by far my least played class, because at least with Magic I'll role play as a healer and everything. I'll still play a Warden healer, but yeah, Stamden I almost never play, and so my skill level with it is quite low. but I've been having a lot of fun with it. And when you're running Alchemist and Essence Thief, you get a ton of damage, and so that's always fun too. And so yeah, on my I couldn't weapon swap. I remember that part. But yeah, that's what I'm doing in the background, and that's what I'll be streaming on Twitch for the next couple of days. And so I'll come up with something that I like, and you guys will, should expect a Warden build here for me in, the next week or two. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how much I'm going to want to try, or what I, eventually find comfortable. But yeah, that's the goal, is to try and have a Warden build for you guys, but it's going to take some time. And so, yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts on Maras Balm and everything, the adjustments there. Let me know if you have any ideas for Warden, because I'm all ears. Obviously, I'll test what I can, and, if I find something I really like, then I'll talk about that in a build video. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I'll let the rest of this BG play out. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.